Yeah. Chop it up, chop it up. Chop it up, chop it up. Chop it up, chop it up, let's talk. Let's talk. Chop it up, chop it up. Chop it up, chop it up. Chop it up, chop it up, let's talk. Let's talk. Chop it up, chop it up. Chop it up, chop it up. Chop it up, chop it up, let's talk. Chop it up.
It's the Chop It Up podcast. It's your boy Hawk Life with my co-host.
Up, man? This is the Chop It Up podcast. This is Merles, and today we got a special guest.
Yo, what's up? It's Light of Destiny, otherwise known as LOD. How y'all doing?
Yeah, man. But Light of Destiny is an artist. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Light of Destiny. What you got going on, and the new projects you got coming out.
Well, I got a few songs here and there that I'm working on. Kind of actually working on either EP or album. I'm not sure yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I started rapping on YouTube about 3-4 months ago,
Okay.
and from my older stuff, I think I've gotten a lot better. I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm just new to this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a little bit about myself.
What got you into writing in the beginning?
What got me into writing? That is a good question. When I was around 7, I think I was introduced to Lil Wayne, and you know how younger kids, their brain gets into all that stuff. I just loved his music, and eventually I just kept trying to find other artists and other rappers and stuff. I found Eminem, Tech Nine, all them people, and I eventually just got into it. But what really made me to start writing was when I was messing around with my friend, and we were just writing bar after bar after bar. And after that, I was like, why don't I just make songs? It's like one of the weirdest how I became a rapper stories, but that's literally how I became into being a rapper.
Okay. How do you classify your style in context to the overall rap game?
You mean like mumbler or something? Like,
Yeah, they got different styles. They got mumble rap. They got trap. They got different styles. So what would you consider
well,
that to be?
I'm a versatile rapper. I mostly try to do the lyrical stuff, and a lot of my songs I made are the lyrical, miracle, spiritual, individual, whatever.
Hmm.
But I've been trying to become more of a woke rapper,
Okay.
more of a composite. Like I want to have the fun, bop your head music, but I also want to have the seriousness. Like my last track, Renegade. I want to have seriousness to my variety, if you understand what I mean.
100%. Yeah, yeah.
100%. Um, how do you find beats? Like my process is different. Uh, I go through the beat, and if I vibe with it, if it's the right vibe, then I go with it. But what's your process in finding the beat, and what resources do you find work best?
Well, how I find a beat, I'm not gonna lie, I just search for Eminem type beats. That's almost 80% of how I find beats because I enjoy them type of beats. But
Hmm.
I search for free for profit beats because I'm broke. I search
Right.
for free for profit beats, and if I vibe to it, I try like stuttering, freestyling, like da 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 da, like trying to see if I can flow on it.
Hmm.
And if I do, I either bookmark the beat if I don't feel like writing right now, or I just sit there and write an entire verse or a hook or something, and
Yeah.
then that becomes my next song I put out.
Yeah.
Is or I try to find like NFP released a song a year ago called "Leave Me Alone." After
Hmm.
that, I was searching for "Leave Me Alone" type beats and seeing if I can make something similar to that. See if I can create the same vibe to it. And if I like a beat, I'm gonna either search for a type beat or just a beat that gives off the same vibe.
Yeah. See, I know you got cipher videos on your YouTube page. What's your relationship? You got cipher videos on your channel.
Mhm.
What's your relationship with the other members of the cipher videos on your channel? Is there a collab project coming anytime?
Well, the cipher I posted on my channel was just a remix, one of those mixes.
with that remix, what's your content strategy for something like that? Like, is that like a way you thought of growing views? I did see where you posted music like the Kid Cudi and Slim Shady songs from their newest release. Um,
Yeah,
is that like a good way of marketing your channel more than just, you know what I'm saying, for gaining followers and other things?
I think so. I'm not entirely sure because I tried to release it quickly before that hype died down. I thought it would be, but unless you're known, it's not really gonna blow up like that. I mean, I'm still gonna do remixes in the future and stuff, but that's not gonna be my main way to try and get more subscribers and more followers and all that.
Yeah,
Since it's not really effective, you're just gonna be another random kid who does a remix on a song.
yeah. Now I know you say you started a few months ago. What influences do you draw from?
Influences, mostly, not Lil Wayne, Eminem, Tech Nine, and Lil
Okay,
Wayne. Those are my top
interesting.
3 favorite rappers.
That's
And
crazy. That's
yeah,
my top three and my top three list. You know, I had a few others in it, but two of those three are in my top three. So that's interesting. You got the old school vibe as far as your influences.
yeah.
One thing that I also noticed about you that you have a unique name, Light of Destiny. How did you come up with that name?
I honestly do not remember. I came up with that name years ago. I do not remember how I came up with that name. I've tried changing the name, but it just feels stuck to me. I don't know.
Right.
I don't even remember how I came up with it.
Yeah. That's how it be though, but it's really unique and we like it.
Thank you.
Now I've been in the culture, YouTube for a little minute, and I have noticed that reaction videos are becoming some of the present and most easiest ways to make money on YouTube. I saw that you had a
Mhm.
reaction video. What do you think about the trend of reaction YouTubers, and do you think it will continue to make the content? Do you think you will continue to make that content of that nature?
Yes, I will actually. I will try. I mean, it takes time, and you got to make time for it. But I will try because yeah, reaction videos they tend to get people tons of subscribers, and I just enjoy giving my opinion on others' music. Like
Okay.
I can do remix reaction was for a homie of mine. His
Hmm.
name is Saddam,
Okay.
and yeah.
Um, to piggyback off that, now I know you participate in the battle sometimes, and when you go and watch a battle, what seals a win for you in the battle?
Uh, it's mostly the cadence of the rapper, the
Okay.
punchlines, and the personals. Like the flow, it's not really that important since there's no beat or anything to it.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but I've seen a few battle rappers when I have listened to them, they get
Hmm.
repetitive with
Right.
what they're saying. Like, I'm gonna kill you this, I'm gonna rape your mother this, I'm gonna do this, do that. I've actually only seen very few decent battle rappers on here. Soul is one of them, in my opinion.
Right.
Do you think
Yeah,
that's indicative of do you think that is indicative of lack of diversity in the community when it comes to not this community specifically, but the battle rap as a genre, like, or a subgenre?
and what do you mean by diversity?
Do you think not diversity of society, but diversity of thought?
I honestly don't know what diversity means right now.
Basically, what he's saying is, do you think there's variety? Do they need variety? Like you was
Oh, yeah.
placing.
Oh, you mean do I think like everybody is similar, too similar?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, they can be, but no, I don't think battle rappers are too similar.
Okay.
I mean, they can be repetitive with their own stuff, but I don't think they're too similar to other battle rappers. I mean, I don't listen to much battle rap, so
Okay. See,
yeah.
I make music, and I make music from a place of real life, and
Hmm.
all my music have a meaning. It might sound like a lot of kill shots and diss tracks, but it has a meaning. And at the end of the day, it's always pertains to something that has some type of substance to it. What messages do you try and represent in your work, in your music?
In my music,
Yeah.
there's only been a few meaningful tracks I put out, like my track "Show You."
Hmm.
That was to, I mean, I've never experienced what I was saying through it, but it was to show how a woman cheated on a man and how the man felt about it. My track with Birkin, Mad Now, it was to talk about how gold diggers are snakes and all that. And my other track, Renegade, is just I kind of was influenced by Eminem and Jay-Z's track Renegade and was trying
Yeah.
to go with that same what you call it.
So that same vibe, that same flow, that same consistency.
Well, I don't know about flow, but yeah, same vibe.
Yeah. Now I know you battle rap like I battle rap. A lot of people be ducking, a lot of people be scared. This the moment you can talk your shit. If you had to make a statement to the rest of the competition, what would it be?
Care of business, yeah. Softening up our opponents for the mega powers, while you are holding the tag team rope, getting ready to seize your first opportunity to come into the ring and start grandstanding and hot dogging, yeah.
Good luck on what you do. I mean, I'm not just going to talk trash about somebody I don't know. A lot of people, like I said, it can be repetitive, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean they're trash writers.
Right.
I'm not just going to talk trash and start beefs when it's unnecessary.
Right. And that's true
Yeah.
fact. But the easier you need to show up, man, people need to stop being scared to stop high and come outside and battle. But yeah, man, this light of destiny, man. It was great talking to you. But we gonna keep the pot. He also gonna perform. We also gonna have Renegade for you later in the podcast. So stay tuned. But we gonna get right to the chopping block. Chop it up, chop it up. Right on the chopping block. We got Biden picks Kamala Harris to be his vice presidential candidate, which, if they win, would make her the first black African American, also Asian American, also first female vice president. She made a statement on Trump. She said Trump inherited the longest economic expansion in history from the Obama and Biden uh, White House. And then, like everything else that he's inherited, he ran it straight into the ground. Your opinions?
So I
I,
think it's a little more complicated than that. I do agree what she says to a very almost completely, but at the same time, the only reason it was even prospering more than what the Obama administration had done is because of all the tax cuts and deregulation, which is good for short term, but it's bad for long term economically. So,
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
yes, the companies are showing record profit, but they're only showing record profit because we're not taxing them like we used to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like me taking it, like, say I got an 85, but I took out all the bad questions on the test that I didn't do well on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to show that I'm better, but if we put those questions back in, it's going to look the same.
Right.
That's actually a
Um,
good analogy.
yeah, it's really good analogy. I don't disagree with her at all. I understand what she's saying, looking back at the numbers from then to now. And his ongoing troubles with his all his businesses and the state of New York waiting on him,
Mhm.
all those things and accountability. That's what make me agree with her. Do I think she's a good choice? I think she's the best choice. Um, for Biden at this rate. I
Yeah.
think this was the Achilles heels for Trump. He much made the statement himself that she was going to be his first pick, so he know he's in trouble. And they trying to destroy her. I believe they was talking about on Fox News and White House, all kind of stuff. But there's really nothing they really can say. She got a few. Everybody got a few.
Well, hold up. That's not completely true.
Okay.
So there are things you can say. Specifically, her. I mean, there's nothing. Okay, so there's only a few things I don't agree with Kamala on. I think she's a good diversity pick in general. But her track record as a district attorney is absolutely appalling. She kept people in jail when evidence showed up. This is multiple occasions. She kept people in
Mhm.
jail when evidence showed up that they were innocent, and specifically hid that evidence and kept them from being released from the system because it would look bad on her career.
True.
She's very
Mm.
hawkish, very, very aggressive against marijuana policies, which is ironic. Which I don't know if
I mean,
we even need to go into how destructive our marijuana policy has been to the general population of where we live. It's terrible. But those two
Apples
things
and
I'm very against when it comes to Kamala. But everything else has been great.
But it's apples and pineapples. People say that till they get there. And at the time when she was very anti-marijuana, I'm pretty sure that was before the government started making a profit off it. Trust me, her stance gonna change. 'Cause that
I hope so. I really hope so.
marijuana industry is $1 billion a year industry, and the government making a profit off it. She can act like she against it, or she won't. That's how they get paid. They get paid off the taxpayers. Side note.
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
Side note. Side note, Congress adjourns to September. Will we get another stimulus check? Me personally, I think so. It may take to September, which is unfortunate because a lot of people can't go to work right now. Um, the, uh, the memorandum for the evictions have lapsed. Funds are drying out. Uh,
mhm.
it's gonna get crazy for a minute, but I think it would happen. It's just like waiting on somebody for a ride. They're gonna move on their own pace, no matter how quickly we want them to move. So it's
Y-
yeah.
Yeah, that I think that's funny though, because America. I mean, I understand. I'm not that fluent with economics and stuff, but America has grossed over 60 trillion, is it?
Hmm.
And they got a debate if it's okay to give a couple million people some money.
Right, but you're not debating giving a goddamn $1 million company $450 million. You're not debating
Exactly.
Yale getting a PPP loan for $7 million.
Hmm. They're only caring about what can benefit them. I mean,
Right.
there's some politicians that will help, but there's more bad than there is good right
Absolutely.
now.
Absolutely. And that's unfortunate. That's why
Hmm.
we gotta watch their actions and vote and choose wisely. Also, Trump is trying to ban mail-in votes.
Trying to ban what?
Ban mail-in votes.
Ballot votes?
Mail-in votes, yeah. They was gonna have it where you can mail in your votes for the elections. He trying to ban that. What I think he trying to do, if that happens, he definitely gonna lose. I think he's just trying to guarantee himself a fight. But if he can destroy the election, then it'll make the election invalid. It'll give him an argument later on for a recount or something. I just think it's all politics and games at this moment.
Yeah, you're right.
Right.
No, but he does. That's why he's trying to cut mail-in voter, which is, if you think of it on a base value,
Hmm.
most Republicans mail in votes because of their age group. But if you say something's invalid, you do all your intent to dismantle that system, and you come out wrong. Be like, hey, I tried to do this, it didn't work. Let's do something else. You know what I'm saying? It's just a scapegoat in a sense.
Exactly. Exactly. That's
Yeah.
why I say it's all smoke screens. Next on the chopping block, Nick Cannon suing Viacom
for 1.5 billion. Estimated value of
What?
Wild 'N Out. Yes, 1.5 billion. The estimated value
Jesus
of Wild 'N Out.
Christ.
Yeah,
Um,
dude.
he plans to use the money to invest in education and undeserving communities. All that sounds good on paper, you know. We know he put something here and there because he is for the black community. But I do agree that he should get Wild 'N Out back in some type of form. The whole he founded it. He made it successful. He stuck with it for I think it was 10 years
Yeah.
or more. It's his, man. Give it to him. You made what you made. You know when he brought it to y'all attention and he produced it and made it what it was. Y'all was probably making 100,000 a year. Now y'all make it's valued up to 1.9 million now as a company. I feel like he deserved. He worked for, regardless of what he said, whether it was insensitive or not. He worked for that. He earned it. That's just like when they had a situation with Reggie Bush, and they took his Heisman.
Mhm.
Feel what I'm saying? Like, how could you take a Heisman from somebody who earned it, regardless of what you felt like he took money from on the side?
Well, how did they get Wild 'N Out to begin with?
I mean, it was started by Nick Cannon. And so how it works is, unfortunately, when you're not rich like the rest of us,
Hmm.
you pitch an idea to someone who has income, which is usually a company. Well, they pitched it to the company. The company bought the idea, which is where they fuck up. They'll sign a deal where they buy the idea, the intellectual property, which Viacom owns, so they can't do Wild 'N Out without Viacom at that point. And that's been
Ow.
the big deal ever since. Yeah, don't sell your intellectual property.
No,
Uh,
you always keep your masters.
No, you
yeah,
keep your ideas.
You always keep your
That's
masters. The learning
because the
experience.
long run matters more than the short term every single
mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be making 500 a week than just get a whole bunch of money at once.
Right.
Including
Yeah.
if you think about the aggressive policies that these companies push. Like I forget who it was. Someone was on Twitter the other day where she put I think it was Kesha where she was saying she was $800,000 in debt to Sony from her original release back in like 2012 or whatever.
And not to
Mhm.
cut you off, not to cut you off, because I've been saying this with a lot of artists. Not to cut you off, because that the situation when you bring up this situation, the situation with Young Boy over at
Yeah, exactly.
and they didn't want to sell him back his masters, and he was ready to buy it. Then you had situations with TLC, who had bad management, and they made all them albums and was broke for a little while. Like a lot of
Mhm.
these artists, I don't understand how they become broke and they can sell 20 million albums and be broke. I don't understand it. That lets me know that these companies are robbing them. That's why I I tell a lot of artists stay independent. Always.
Exactly. That's why
Well,
I'm independent right now.
they're legally robbing them. It's very interesting. So essentially, if I asked you to balance my books, as a business, I mean, I don't know if y'all have taken accounting, but unless you've taken accounting, you're not going to know how to do it. Same thing for anything. Unless you know how the system works for whatever you're applying it to, you're not going to be able to, say, read a legal document and understand all the loopholes and inner linings of it. So
Well,
you can't expect these people who aren't focused in that to do it. First thing I would say, if you're going to sign a contract, have the leverage, have the power. You can look at Freddie Gibbs, for instance. He signed to Jeezy back in the day, a long time ago. It didn't do well, so they dropped him. And I think he's always been complaining about it in his music. But if you look at it now, it was a fucking life send. It was a gift. Because now when he signed to Warner Brothers, he has the leverage. And I haven't looked at his paperwork. Obviously, I mean, I don't have privy to that information. But I guarantee you, he after the last couple releases he has the fucking leverage. 100%. And
Yeah.
that's really what you got to do. You got to have the leverage, and you have to have your own legal team that can ensure you come out on top. Because just because they're a corporation doesn't mean they're ever ever going to have your self-interest. You have to have your own legal team, and you have to make sure you come out on top of everything you
That
sign on
is
to.
It's all about the team because
That's
it's a team of failure. It's all about the team, and I think that with a lot of artists, they teams that's behind them is full of a bunch of fucking yes men, and not people telling them the right. You know what I'm saying? They trying to eat on off the side, and they not make sure their artists are 100% safe. All artists need to take note of this conversation and handle their business thoroughly.
100%, yeah.
Side note,
Oh shit. Here we go again.
side note. Takashi 69 was. I don't like talking about rats, but I gotta speak on this. Takashi 69 got kicked out of New York, right? Did some stunt shit. I think it was a stunt. Went to California and had the nerve to pull up and stand in front of Nipsey Hussle picture. Like, and his partner addressed him and told him, don't do that here. Don't disrespect the big homie like that. Cause he ain't fuck with rats. He got killed by a rat. I felt it to be very disrespectful.
Man,
I,
this is like I don't know if y'all know who Eric Andre is.
uh-huh.
This
I
is
think I've
like when
heard of
Eric
him.
Andre does his skits. I'm sure. Okay, so sometimes when Eric Andre does his skits, it goes really bad, and the police are called. And I remember in season 1, I think it was like 2 times, a couple times throughout, and you can hear on his mic, he's like, "Fuck, I'm not going to jail for another skit." Um, there's got to be something similar to him when he says some of these things, because some of the stuff he's doing is so similar to the anti-comedy that he does. Not in a funny way. I'm not saying it's funny. It's just this is straight up dangerous without the comedy to it.
It's a publicity stunt.
Right. That's all it is, a PR stunt.
He was arrested, I don't know how long ago, and he got out. He's instantly blowed up because, people were waiting for his arrival. And he's just trying to get more and more and more clout so people can, quote unquote, remember him for being a rapper. But people are just going to remember him for being a snitch, a rat, a clown, all that. A stupid person. That's all 6ix9ine is a stupid person.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
short-term profits instead of that long-term goal.
Yeah. Eventually, all this is going to catch up to him. He's going to make too many enemies, and it's all going to catch up to him.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like Charlemagne said, and I quote Charlemagne again. He said,
Mhm.
Takashi 69, he sees that situation on the two things. Either he's gonna go to jail, or he's gonna get killed. He need to pick his road. Cause right now, I don't know if he got death on his mind or he's seeing death. Like we saying out here in New Orleans, he must be seeing his death. I don't know. But the
Mhm.
games he playing is risky. Very risky. Especially playing with California and you got the Crips on your ass out there. That ain't nothing to play with. Prime example, Pop.
This might sound stupid, but I think 6ix9ine is trying to go out gangsta style. Like how Pac died or Biggie died. He's trying to go out like that because he saw how big
He's
Pac and
right,
Biggie
so
was.
they'll never
So
be
he's possibly
seen
trying
as a
to
gangster.
get that. Yeah. Wait, say that again?
He's a rat, so they would never see him as a gangster. Street politics wise, they would never see him as a gangster because you rat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not only that, like I don't know about you, but I mean I've barely, like, the songs I've heard is maybe I can count on 2 fingers. And on that, like, these men make classics, bro. These men were fundamentally instructing how the 2000s and the 2010 would sound when it comes to flow, when it comes to dialogue, when it comes to, just genre shifting in general.
Exactly.
Which you're not going to get from someone who's just doing publicity stunts.
Mm-mm.
Right?
I mean, I haven't even listened to much Pac or Biggie, but I know they made the good rap what it is today.
Right.
Oh, fire. When it comes to flow, Biggie institutionalized that sort of lazy, strong flow. Or how it's even hard to put in the words nowadays, man.
It was just that epic lyricists, and they told stories.
Yeah,
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 they were top
Biggie was
tier,
dope.
top fucking tier.
They're
yeah,
still top tier. They're still
yeah,
better than most rappers today.
yeah.
Because now they're trying to be elite lyricists, but they're just the lyrical, spiritual. They don't put meaning into the raps and tracks like Tupac and Biggie does. The only actually good rappers in the modern era in these years, Eminem, J. Cole, Joyner. Sometimes even Joyner has those weird songs, and Logic.
Oh
There's
man, I
quite a
think
few
you're
other rappers, but
I
those are
think
the
you're
ones
stuck
that
on the
come top
mainstream,
of my
bro.
head.
There's a movement. There's movements out here, bro. I could list them. We have just went through a renaissance last decade, and it's only looking stronger. I mean, we can talk about people like Rock Marcy, Ka. We can talk about people. Once again, I'm gonna mention Freddie Gibbs. I mean, the Griselda Boys are out. We got
You said Karn?
Mobilari, Ka,
Ka,
Ka.
who's? Oh, I thought you were saying Kaan.
Underground
Oh
artists
yeah. I
that's
know
coming
Khan,
out.
not Khan.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
many different underground artists that's coming out, and the industry. Hopefully, it changes back to that old substance, but I just don't see it right now. But
Nah,
hopefully in the future. Next on the chopping block, chopping it up on the chopping block. Okay, the Attorney General, who's over the Breonna Taylor case, met with the family. The family said that they hopeful that they'll get justice this time. He seems like he's sincere. Um, One of my favorite movies is Shadow, and I remember when Mr. Marley said, I believe it was Damon Marley. He said, Keyman Marley, I'm sorry. He said, politicians, police, I don't trust none of them, and I feel the same way. I'm not saying she'll get justice. She may.
I mean,
We keep
I mean,
pushing it. It will happen for Breonna Taylor because we believe that she was killed in police custody. Well, basically, what happened? Let me tell you how the story. They was serving a search warrant. They actually served a search warrant at the wrong home, and they kicked the door in. I think she was sleeping in another room. They shot through the wall or through the door or whatever, and they shot and killed her. Now, that's that's me being from raised
oh,
in.
that's that story.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, worse than that, dude. Holy shit. You don't know it, bro? Like the full story? Okay, so more information has come out. So essentially, she was dating
Mm-hmm.
someone like a year and a half before it happened, and they had broken up at that point a year and a half ago. That man was somehow interconnected with at some level, I think it was smaller than regional drug trade. You know what I'm saying? You got a little bit of weed on the side, you're selling a little bit of pills, or something like that level, small shit. So this
Yep.
man stopped relations and stopped living there
Mm-hmm.
over a year and a half ago. She had already moved on with another person. As you know, he almost shot the person in the foot, which is a whole nother story. If a cop doesn't know to maim instead of kill, but fucking someone with a personal carry license knows to maim an intruder instead of kill, I mean, that says it in itself.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, they knew that he wasn't there. They served a no-knock warrant, which is illegal. It wasn't illegal in that state, but it's illegal in almost all the other states. And with all this information, they just went in guns blazing,
Right. But that,
and they found nothing there. But they had the knowledge that there was nothing there at the time, and the person that they were interested from was like 4 blocks
right.
Was
away.
Brianna African American?
Yes.
Yeah,
Of course, of course, man.
Yeah.
These
It's
bad cops. I mean, there's a lot of good cops out there, but these corrupted cops are just making a bad name for cops in general. I
yeah,
mean,
they
this murdering, whatever nonsense has to stop. I mean, who cares what skin color you are?
right.
Like, I was upset.
oh, it will. Whenever these riots are over, man, and it's far from done. I think they're far from done. Whenever these riots are done, if we push and really push,
Mhm.
I think we can hold their feet to the fire and make legislative
Oh,
change.
definitely.
Yeah.
They need to make legislative change.
But we got to riot, bro. You
Yeah,
got
you
to
gotta
riot.
riot. Don't riot, protest. Stop the looting. They finding who y'all is. That's another thing.
Ah, shit. Here we go again.
Side note, back to Minnesota, where the looting and rioting first started. The
Mhm.
guy who actually started it with the umbrella and was busting the windows, he was a white supremacist. So I want people to understand something. They trying to start some type of war. And in this time, we have to humble ourselves and see the bigger pictures that's going on outside. You got people just coming into your cities that are not from your cities, starting these wars to start a race war.
Mm-hmm.
But we have prevented it because we have found out who these people are. We are preventing it. And I commend everybody for staying woke and staying aware of what's going on outside. You had police officers doing stuff. You had protesters doing stuff. You had white supremacists doing stuff. You had Antifas doing stuff. Shit's crazy out here in this world. Then we dealing with,
Yeah, there will never be
COVID.
racial peace
Right,
with how people are.
right.
Inequality in general. Let's talk about inequality of income. That is where the racial injustice starts. We have mostly, if we can attack the justice system and fix the justice system, we will be almost completely get rid of essentially the systemic racism in our country. It's almost 100% in the court system and the laws and stuff like that. Now, I agree that banks also have, I would say there's financial racial injustices that happen when it comes to loans, when it comes to applying for banks, just different things of that nature. But if we could institute laws and other things of that nature, I think we could get rid of that mostly. And that's what we need to focus on
Absolutely.
most.
Absolutely. This here wrap up the podcast. Man, we thank y'all for listening. Chop It Up podcast. But right after the podcast ends, we're gonna play an exclusive from Light of Destiny, Renegade. Stay tuned for that. This has been Chop It Up the podcast. Be cool, be safe. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be aware when these podcasts drop, when these battles dropping. We got so much in store that's coming in the future. So stay tuned. Chop it up.
Yo, y'all already know who it is. Dark proof, we're of the same kind. You live in the attic while I'm a K9. So intense, that'll have a bite that makes your bark look like a rhyme. Have you itching for my songs? Guess you can say mine came from my music to your ears. Straight lines. The truth is, 2 syllables are my main rhyme. So you go saying that I can't write. Are you scared of me? You remind me of the father of Beverly. Y'all like an identity. Wouldn't be wise taking a penny from me. High like I took methamphetamine. Crack a smile cause y'all just slept on me. Rap for a while, it is destiny. Crap by the pile of what's been said to me. Grab by the topic, come so close to what's wetting me. What y'all mad about it? I don't have you next to me. I'm gonna laugh aloud. Cause the way you're acting is as if you just want a wedding ring. It's better than not bleeding your hemorrhaging. I wonder why all the snakes aren't emerging. Chopping nameless, but saying facts of phoenix and slaying the brainless insects. I'm climbing higher. I'm gonna be a renegade. Gonna be liars. Don't believe what's in. Gonna start fires. Gonna embrace the flames. Climbing higher. To be truthful of natural average renegade. Y'all just a maverick with the same burning name. Greedy for the badges, I'm against the slang. I'll be the one changing rap and I'll end the rain. With a snap next, you'll need Medicaid. Like salted rules, eye drops with lemonade. Eat a type of youth just can't be saved. That's why I write songs and try to legislate. Guess the time's gone when you would levitate. When the right words come from your mouth and onto a plate. I need a breath mint for the words that I say. The thighs with a red tint or a red and stain. When juice died, I felt my brethren's pain. But the noose is tied and the hand grenade made it boom time. I'll be sent to the grave. These aren't just cool rhymes, the truth you're dying. I get the blame, yeah. I'm gonna be a renegade. Gonna be liars. Don't believe what's in. Gonna start fires. Gonna embrace the flames. Climbing higher. I'm gonna be a renegade. Living like a renegade, counting stars.
vodka with some lemonade inside my bars. Your tracks are only minute-made, you can't be hard. Yeah, I work for this, I murder it, the verdict is manslaughter. Shoe don't fit, I walk with it, the bliss is hit. Who work harder, not you, not him. Fuck them too, it's true, I'd rock him. Guess who's back is bruised? Legs burn like Satan's tongue, the blood ooze. But I'm too young to fucking lose faith yet. I place bet who gets hit next. Paychecks, lost lives to be famous. It's nameless, we get motion from this painless. The spirits just to go them down, love to hear it, but it's on you now. Makes it a problem all of a sudden. Oh wow, can't take the heat when you're in the oven. Slow down, I think that I'm on to something. It's just an assumption. Be ready to function as yourself, chasing after nothing will not help. Stop with the fuck shit, do something else. Have you tried being original? Take your story off of the shelf, it could be pivotal. I mean, look at myself, I accepted the ridicule. Offer my health, I got my cheddar straight out of the shredder. Earning that makes you feel better. You can ignore it instead of your mother's shelter, but then you'll never understand what it takes to be so collective.
I'm climbing higher. I'm gonna be a renegade. Gonna be liars. Don't believe what's said. Gonna start fires. Gotta embrace the flames. Climbing higher. I'm gonna be a renegade.
Man, I'm sick as dogs. Chicken broth, there's nothing to help me with these twisted thoughts. I sniff for cough, say I'm trying to be M like I'm his missing son. Don't be really dumb, I ain't dissing y'all, but you want me to be clean like a dish was done. True, all y'all, just listen wrong. I do not rap about cigarettes bombs. Y'all need to know what's in my songs. I'm not your typical fish in the pond. Unfortunately, kids' innocence is gone. Minor victims lost. What kind of parents are y'all? They cut these children off when you're the role model. Pick these moms and pick this pops, and then you're hitting them. Batter them up like you're pitching balls when they say cuss words on their Motorola. But not enough, so they sniff Coca-Cola. Tell you that you're sick, that you got Corona or got Ebola. Driving me nuts like I was a granola. Quit your crying cause I done told her. But who go on and play the viola? Gonna expose ya to the folks now. Even if it hurts you physically, I don't care.
Climbing higher. I'm gonna be a renegade. Gonna be liars. Don't believe what's said. Gonna start fires. Gotta embrace the flames. Climbing higher. I'm gonna be a renegade.
Matter of fact, I hope your haters choke from your own rope on the ceiling fan. Then you'll truly be a ceiling fan. Cards I'm being dealt, I'm dealing them. Almost set them free, cause I'm killing them. You trying to get lyricists abolished, but if they wear bright red nail polish, or they talk trash about the Amish, you be fine. Every comment, to be honest, my promise is to never change. Better than mainstream artists, I'll be your target on the market with garbage rappers. This is me. So quit your yapping and your barking. When I crap, you better park it. Back down to the ground where you belong, clown. LOD out.
Climbing higher. I'm gonna be a renegade.